few more people. We lost Census somewhere. I don't know where she's at. So you guys just relax for a minute, and everyone coming and showing up. Sorry, I heard something else. Before we get started though, I know Rochelle, you have a meeting, and I want her to talk just a little bit about what we offer in the Financial Empowerment Center, since she is the site coordinator for that program, and I think just to make everybody aware.
Sure, thank you, Curtis. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rochelle Scott Oakley, and as Curtis mentioned, I am the Financial Empowerment Site Coordinator. And some of you may be familiar with our services, but I thought this would be a great opportunity just to make sure everyone was familiar. And so for those individuals who are not familiar with the services, the Evelyn K. Davis Center offers a lot of different programs, but with this particular program, we're really proud of the services that we provide, and it's a part of the financial coaching process. And so this is a free service. This is a service that is brought to you through a collaboration with Polk County, DMAC, and then ourselves, the Evelyn K. Davis Center. Through one-on-one coaching with our certified professional coaches, we'll take the individual through establishing financial independence. And so, everybody's situation is a little bit different. And so that's why we go through that process and we complete an assessment. And as a part of that process, what we do is we help the individuals to repair their credit. If that's something that they're trying to work on, we also help them to build savings accounts. We can help individuals create banking accounts, because we found that a lot of individuals just don't have bank accounts or have been banned from bank accounts in the past. And so we have programs and services that are in place that will help with those types of things. And, we have partnerships with a lot of different places, such as banks and credit unions. And, they come in and they help our clients because a lot of individuals really want to be able to get to the point where they're able to purchase a home. Because as a part of that entire process, what we're really trying to do with our program is we're trying to put people in the best financial position as possible, but we're also trying to create that generational wealth. And with our coaches, we've been pretty successful for the last couple of years that the program has been in existence. And we would love to help you if that's something that you're interested in learning more about or participating. All of our information is available on our website, and just sign up on there. We'll get you partnered up with one of the coaches, or give us a call and we can help you set up an appointment that way as well. So thank you. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to contact our office, and I'll be happy to talk to you one-on-one as well.
Great, thank you, Rochelle.
Thank you.
Now you're off the hook. I appreciate it. And if you do need an appointment or want an appointment just to review your credit, it's all free. There is no ding on your credit score. So I can set you up an appointment with one of the coaches, or I can get you to Rochelle or whatever you need. So why am I on the big screen? But anyway, okay, I guess I'm not in charge of that. All right, I'm really glad that you guys are here. So we're going to cover the business model canvas, and Victor from the SBDC, I'll let him introduce himself, but he's going to run us through it. And what is this going to be? 3 sessions, 2 hours each. And obviously, if you want to meet with Victor or myself, just let me know and I will set those appointments up for you. You can shoot me an email, or you can go online and set the appointment. But Victor, I don't know if they can get to your appointment schedule, but I will do it if it's not there. So,
Okay.
and it looks like we have a few people. Oh, Census, do you want to introduce yourself? Let them know how you can help them because you have
Yeah.
something you need
Hi,
to.
everyone. Good morning. It's great to see you all here today. Welcome to the Small Business Model Canvas. My name is Census Loliong. I am with the Evelyn K. Davis Center, and part of my role as a program specialist also piggybacks on giving some assistance to Curtis and the Small Business Center. And part of that is within the business and nonprofit field is really to help some of you who are starting out with your businesses and need assistance in just trying to bring together your vision or trying to articulate where you want to go and how to do it. So I try and give those sessions to people. You can book them through Curtis if you are interested. I have a strategic mindset, and therefore it helps me see a broader picture of what you are up to and how best to capitalize on it. Here today, I'll just be helping with the flow of the program and giving assistance to Victor wherever he needs it, as well as encourage you all. So part of that is really being a hype person for some of you. So you know that this is a start. You're starting somewhere, and don't give up. It's a step by step. The start is slow, and some of it seems very mundane, but the things that Victor is going to teach you are very relevant and very important. They are also certified, so it's not something people are making up on their own, but it's tried and tested. So welcome to you all, and thank you, Des Moines Public Library, for our partnership with you. It's been a great process because we're able to reach a much wider version of our community that do not come into our center. This is Census. I am complete. Over to you, Curtis.
Thank you, Census. Wow, you're so professional. Okay. All right. All right, Victor, I'm gonna turn it over to you. You guys know that, you know, if you need to reach me, you know how to find me. If you do not, you can email me, call the center, whatever. But anyway, so yeah, we'll run through this. Victor will take you most of the way, lots to learn. Oh, and I do have the larger printouts now of the business model canvas. So Victor, when you get to that point, I think everyone got one in an email, but I do have larger printouts now. And if you let me know or let Victor know, then you can stop by the center and pick one of those up. So I know some of you don't understand what I'm talking about, but you will. All right. Thank you. Take it away, Victor.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you, Curtis. First of all, how about if everyone who has joined us put their name, and if you have a business, put your business name in the chat box so that Curtis, Census, and I can know who is participating and who already has an existing business. And if you're just thinking of starting a business, just say that you're just starting to think up of a business concept, business idea. And so please share your information so that we could know who's here. And we have Bonita Berry with Sip and Bling. That's great. And Claudia Muhammad for Happiness, Wakana. And then I hope I don't mispronounce it. I'll just say the last name, Bang, starting a business, okay. And then Lisa Richards, that's a Richards Family Support Services. And Josie S. Josie S. Step by Step Connect. And well, thank you for sharing. Veronica and Pinka starting a business. Okay, so we got a couple who already have businesses, and we have a couple who are starting to think up of starting a business. And RJ Miller is debating also. So you're in that process. Okay, thank you for sharing. And I'm gonna share my screen so we can start talking about the business model canvas. Okay. And first of all, I just like to share the business model canvas was started or created by Alex Osterwalder and Yves Pignier. They started up a company called Strategizer. And if anybody wants to go more in depth on the business model canvas, there is a great book called The Business Model Generation. And just a reminder, this collaboration that we are doing is SBDC, the Iowa Small Business Development Centers, and the Small Business Solution Centers at the Evelyn K. Davis Center, and with the Des Moines Public Library. And just a reminder, my name is Victor Oyervides. I'm the Minority Business Development Counselor. I work statewide. And we are working with different types of businesses throughout the state and working in different communities, setting up partnerships and collaborations in order to reach out to all the different immigrant communities, women-owned based businesses, and all different types of minority small businesses that we have been able to assist with. And we have a great collaboration with Curtis and with Census here at the Small Business Solution Center. And just information that this information is educational in nature. If you do want informed decisions, you have to set up the meeting, as Curtis said. Well, the questions is, and this is what we asked you right now, where are you at that stage? We know that during COVID-19, there have been a lot of changes in the business world. And some of you might start be thinking of closing up, reopening, maybe starting a new business, expanding or pivoting. And right now, we consider it's a very good moment because of this disruption. There's that opportunity to rethink and reset your business if you already have one, or if you have thought of a business idea in the past, and it's a good moment because some of your business ideas that you had in the past might not be feasible anymore because of COVID-19 and all the disruptions that we have seen, because it's not just COVID-19 now, it's also the supply chain disruptions and many other issues that are affecting and impacting small businesses nationwide and worldwide. And well, what we can see is during COVID-19, there was this disruption, and well, we are entering a new world, a new normal, really. And the businesses that will be successful are the ones that are innovative and adaptable. And you will have to excuse my how would you say, my speaking today. I'm a little sick right now, so I may have some difficulties at some moments to just to pronounce words. But right now is the best time to assess your business model. And a lot of times we ask people, what is your business? And the goal of all businesses that we consider is that the basic purpose of a business is to offer value, be it a product and a service, to a customer. And that's the very, very basic definition of a business, is to offer value to a customer. And but the business model, when we ask people, okay, you got a business, but what is your business model? And that's where some people have a difficulty explaining. And really, the business model when you understand your business model, you are able to describe how an organization creates, delivers, and captures value. And this is very important. And that's why I created this graph so that we can remember this is the basic purpose of your business. You create value, you deliver value, and you capture value. And value will mean different things for different businesses and different organizations. It's a different meaning if it's a nonprofit, and it's a different meaning if you are a small business. And then the delivering the value, it's different for each business because you have either a product, a service, or a bundle of products and services, or it's really the job that you're wanting to get done for your clients. So you have to think about it, think well, because the business model canvas that we are going to share will help you in thinking out this whole process so that it could be continuous, so that you can continue to create, deliver, and capture, but it continues to grow. And that's what your goal should be for your business, to continue to capture more value. And the tool that we are going to share so that you can get to understand what is your business model is the business model canvas. The business model canvas is a very practical tool. It's and this tool you can use from the design phase to the testing phase to implementing and managing a business model over the whole life cycle of a business. So it's very important to understand this your business model, because you can use this business model canvas in all the different phases. It's a very user-friendly tool. It's very visual. It's very practical, and you can use it and adapt and change. It's really a very living document in comparison to a business plan. A business plan is a document that you put together that probably has 20 to 40 pages, but usually you create that booklet and you just put it away in your office. When the business model canvas, you could have it posted in your office, and you could have a poster size, as Curtis mentioned, at the Small Business Solution Center. They do have copies for you that you can work on. We did send out the poster, and I did send out also the handbooks so that you can use the handbooks to practice. And it has questions on the left side, and then on the right side, it has the space for you to write down your ideas. So hopefully all of you have those handbooks ready today, so you could, one, take notes, but two, that when you start writing down your ideas, you could write down in that handbook, and then you could transfer these ideas onto the business model canvas. The business model canvas really, it helps you to have clarity, to focus, and help you in the execution of your business model and of action plans that you want to implement. And the clarity comes on knowing who you are targeting and why. The focus helps you not to get sidetracked, because as entrepreneurs, and I talk personally in my own life in the past, this was a problem. I couldn't focus on one business concept, and I'm very entrepreneurial. I'm very got a lot of ideas, and I started working in one area, different area, expanding my business beyond what it was capable of, and I lost my focus. And so this business model canvas will help you with clarity, with focus, and a lot of times we have problems with executing executing our action plans. We come to a session, just like the business model canvas, and we write down all our great ideas, but then we don't take the next step, the execution. And so the business model canvas will be there to remind you, these are the steps that you have to take if you want to reach the goal that you want to reach as a small business. And the Small Business Solutions Center and myself, we are available to help you in those processes. If you are starting up, we can sit down with you and talk with you about the pre-launch phase and everything that it implies. And then for those who have a business and you want to pivot your business, well, we can sit down and talk with you, and so that you can clarify and focus and execute the steps that you need to take in order to pivot your small business. And the business model canvas, it's a great tool. And in the pre-launch phase, it will be like a map or a plan that will guide you on launching your business. And then as a startup or a small business already, it's a very useful in creating a strategy to guide you toward pivoting your small business. And well, I present to you the business model canvas. It's a one-page document. It's a one-page organizational tool, management tool, and it can be used to visualize. It can be used to test out your business idea, and then it could be used to implement and put into practice. And this is a great tool because when they created the business model canvas, they established the 9 building blocks that all small businesses have within their business model. And so all small businesses, even nonprofits, have these 9 building blocks. And these are the 9 building blocks that we have to take into consideration. So we're talking about the customer segments, and we're talking about the value proposition, which is what you are going to offer or value to your customers. And then we talk about customer relationships. We talk about channels. We talk about revenue streams. We talk about key partners, key activities, key resources, and cost structure. And this is what makes up the business model canvas. Now, before we get into starting our workshop, there are some best practices. If you're going to work on a poster size, usually when I work poster size, I have it printed out as a floor plan size. And what I do is I use sticky notes. And I avoid writing directly on the business model canvas unless you have a laminated business model canvas. If you have a laminated business model canvas, then you can write directly on the business model canvas because you are able to erase ideas that are not feasible and put in the next steps or the ideas that you want to implement in replacement of that past idea. And then what we do recommend is when you are working with the business model canvas, just start, don't overthink it, just put down your ideas. And since all of you are just starting up today, just start writing down your ideas. Today and during these 3 weeks, there are no bad ideas. Just start putting down your ideas. Once you start putting down your ideas, then you start testing your ideas, you start doing the research on those ideas, you start asking friends, you start asking possible clients about these ideas and what they think about it. And you even do your own research. You can do a little bit of studying other companies that are similar to your business model and seeing what discussions are held about that different companies. You can go on Facebook and you can go on other social media and just see what are people saying about those different companies or different business models. And you could see if your idea is feasible or if it's not. But then really just start anywhere. It doesn't have to be on one particular building block. You may have key partners that are helping you to start up a business. So you may start in that building block. But because this is a workshop, we will start with customer segments today, and we will go in that order. But really, when you start putting down your ideas, just put down your ideas in the building blocks. And avoid using bullet points if you're going to be using the Post-its, because let's say if you put down 3 or 4 bullet points and 2 of them are not feasible, you're going to start scratching out your Post-its. And so avoid doing that, so that each idea should be on its own Post-it, on its own sticky note. And then don't go into too much detail, but get to the point and be precise. And that's very important, because this is not a business plan. This is a business model. Now, what you will have once you finish your business model, once you are pretty sure that you know that your business model canvas is feasible, then you can translate that or transfer it to a business plan. And that's where you get into all the details about your business model. And one example I always show is this one. We don't recommend for you to have all your Post-its one same color, because when you are working with different customer segments or with different value propositions, and you have ideas for each of the customer segments or each of the value propositions, when you visually are looking for what goes with what, it's going to be difficult. So it's better to color code your business model canvas and color code it according to your value proposition and your customer segments. And with that, we are going to start with the customer segments. Now, customer segments is the group of people, the users or organizations that you are creating value for, whose problems you are helping solve or needs you are helping satisfy. So your customer segments is that group of people that you are going to be selling your product, your services, the bundle, your everything that represents your business to your clients. So your customer segments are your clients, and they are the people that will be buying that value, to whom you will be delivering the value. So you have to think about what is it that you're going to solve, or what needs are you going to satisfy. And usually when we talk about customer segments, traditionally we have defined them as demographics, psychographics, and behavior. And we'll talk about demographics, we're talking about age, geography, social, economic. We talk about psychographics, we're talking about beliefs, customs, culture. And then where we talk about behavior, we're talking about hobbies, habits, interests, likes, dislikes. So you have to think about, okay, your business model, how what are the customer segments that you are going to seek out? Are they based on demographics? Are they based on psychographics? Are they based on behaviors? Who are you going to be selling your product, your services to? And why would they be buying it? But now we're going to add on a third definition, and it's called the jobs to be done. And let me define that. When we talk about the first three, we're talking about who they are. But also, we're going to be starting to talk about based on the jobs that they are trying to get done. And that's the jobs to be done. That's a different way of seeing your customer segments, and not just through demographics, not just through the psychographics or through behaviors, but it's based on the jobs that they are trying to get done. And when we talk about jobs to be done, it's a fundamental problem customers hope to address or a need they hope to satisfy. And that is what customers hire a product or service to do for them. And I like to talk about the smartphones for us as entrepreneurs. When these smartphones started out, they were just called cell phones. And really, all people could do was talk on them initially. And then they added texting. And then they added the possibility of camera, video. And eventually, they started adding apps. And that's when the whole concept of the function of a smartphone and the job that it was doing changed. Initially, it was just a communication tool. But now, the job that smartphones do for us as entrepreneurs, as small business owners, as executives, these smartphones are really our office away from the office. So we carry with us our office with us. And with this smartphone, we can do practically everything else, everything that we do in a small office. We can communicate, we can make decisions, we can create forms, we can send out invoices, we can check our banking accounts, and we can do many other things. And we can also work on social media and other aspects. So the smartphones, what the job that it's doing for us and why we hire a smartphone now is because this is my office away from the office. So we have to think about in each of your value propositions, be it a product, be it a service, what is the job that your customers are hiring your product or your service to do for them? What is it going to accomplish? What is it going to assist in? And so that is what really this new concept of jobs to be done is really about. And when we talk about the job to be done, we think about three different types of jobs. One is the functional job, and entails getting a task done or solving a problem. Usually this is very technical. So we can think about investment managers. We can think about accountants. We can think about attorneys, and we can think about all these professional services that exist. And usually they are very technical. Now, another type of job that is done is a social job, and describes how a customer wants to be perceived by others. And I'll just give you an example with, I have young, they're a little older than teenagers, but they, what I have seen is that uh, when they are in high school, they go through these phases where they want to show off what they have. So they go through this phase of phones. So it has to be an iPhone or it has to be a Samsung. And this is the social job that this phone is doing for them. So really, the phone for them is a social job more than a functional job as it is for us as small business owners or entrepreneurs. So we see how the smartphone for one market, it is marketed toward us on getting that job accomplished of being our office away from the office. But for the younger generations, it's more a social job because it's how the younger generation wants to be perceived. And that's where the brands come in. Another is the emotional job. And this describes how a customer wants to feel. And I like to give the example of a good night rest at a hotel. If I get to travel, and then when I travel, I like to stay in a hotel where I'm pretty sure that I can rest all night, that there won't be any disturbance. Also, if I need fast internet, that I have access to fast internet. If I need certain small office equipment, these hotels have access to the small office equipment. If I need a small conference room, they have access to small conference rooms. So that the emotional job that these types of hotels are accomplishing is helping to accomplish what the needs that I have as an entrepreneur, as an executive. And that's why I may pay more to stay in a hotel like that than staying at a more economical hotel where I might not know if I have a good night's rest. I don't know if there be construction in the hotel or other things happening. So I'd rather pay a little extra, but get that emotional job done. And so these are just the three types that we're talking about when we're talking about jobs to be done. They're either functional job, social job, or emotional job. And you have to think about in your value proposition, what type of job is your value proposition going to give, satisfy your customer segments with. Now, important thing to take into consideration when we are writing on the customer segments, we tend to put a lot of information in the customer segment block. The overall goal, remember, is not to focus on one block, but to understand the big picture of how you are creating, delivering, and capturing value, to understand how each building block works with the other building blocks, how they are interrelated, interwoven, and how you go about having a successful business. And that's the goal, really, and not just to focus on one building block, such as customer segment, but to really think out the whole scheme of how that business model works. Before we continue, are there any questions on the customer segments? You can feel free to talk. Okay. Okay, well, let's continue with the second part of today's today's workshop. Today, we are just going to see two building blocks, the customer segments and the value propositions. And next week, we will talk about customer relationships, channels, and revenue streams. Now, when we're talking about value propositions outlines how a bundle of products and services creates value for a specific customer segment. The value proposition is not just the product or service, but it's the whole bundle of everything that you are offering your customer segments. It helps your customers address a fundamental problem or need, and it gets a job done. Your product or your technology is not your value proposition. In the past, we usually thought, okay, your value proposition is my product. I offer food, okay? But it's not just that. It's really the whole customer experience that you are offering, that experience of why your customer segment comes to your restaurant to buy food from your restaurant. So really, it's the whole bundle of that customer experience and what you offer, because that is how you are specifically creating value for a customer segment. And this is just a continuation of what we've talked about in the job types. Well, the themes that help your customers create value, and we're going to go over, is helping customers get a functional job done. And for example, usually it will better the performance of something, getting a job done better. It's customization, it's accessibility, it's usability, it's price, or helps to reduce costs. So what is the functional job that your product, your service, your value proposition is going to offer to your customer segments? Is it a functional job? Is it going to better the performance? Is it getting help the customer segment get a job done better? Is it customization? Is the pricing going to be better? So you have to think about it. Okay, is it a functional job or is it a social job? And when we are helping customers get a social job done, we are talking about the branding, we're talking about the status, we're talking about communication, we're talking about being fashionable. It could be something new, something authentic that just created. So that social job, that's what it is accomplishing. And that's we see within the social jobs a lot of times. The big brands like like Apple has established its brand, its status, and it tries to stick always to that brand and that status. And that's why the pricing of their products hardly vary. They may create a product more accessible, but they still have it at a premium price. And so that's how we see that that businesses get a social job done by the brand, by the status, by the communication. In the past, when I was a graphic designer, the best computer that was used for graphic design in those days was the Apple computer, because it was the one that worked best with graphic design. And so that's how in that time Apple was establishing its brand and its status. And always the Apple computers were higher cost than a normal PC, be it a Hewlett Packard or be it other types of laptops or desktops. And so Apple always has maintained that social job, and it's been working on its brand, its status, and everything that it creates continues with that brand and with that status. Now, the third one, it's helping customers get an emotional job done. And here we're talking about risk reduction, like not getting the lowest price product or service, but the experience that you seek. And that was the example that I shared about the hotel, that you are reducing the risk of not getting a good night's rest. You are reducing the risk that you won't be able to finish your work from the office at that hotel because of lack of equipment. And then also when you do emotional job, talks about aesthetic design and emotional state. So you have to think about in your business model, in your value proposition, what is it, the job that is being done? Is it a functional, is it a social, or is it an emotional job? And important to take into consideration, also don't put too much information just in the value proposition blocks. The overall goal is not to focus on one block, but to understand the big picture. And tip number 2, and this happened to me, I think I explained a little bit earlier, is don't just say yes to every opportunity that comes along. You need to focus. And the business model canvas will help you not to overexpand or to go from one idea to another idea and just agree to different business opportunities that come along. The business model canvas will help you to stay focused. If I had had this tool when I was an entrepreneur and I had my small business, it would have been a different story because it would have helped me stay focused. It would have helped me with the clarity, and it would have helped me with the execution of my business plan. And so this is the important part, where don't say yes to every opportunity, but put it down on your business model canvas and start testing it. Start asking customers. Do the research before you start up on a new product or a new service or a new branch of your business. Start to test it first. It's a lot cheaper to test your ideas when you are building your business model than if you invest and you find out that it was not the right business concept or idea that you want to do. And after you invested thousands of dollars on a business. So it's very important to test out beforehand. And the business model canvas is the best tool that you can use to test out your ideas. And with this, I do want to remind you that it's about creating value, delivering value, and capturing value. And with this, I'm gonna stop sharing, and we're gonna open up for questions. Any questions on the first 2 building blocks that we talked about today? And don't be shy. We're all learning. We're all on this journey as entrepreneurs. And a lot of times we learn from each other. And that's what we have seen in our past workshops, where the dialogue starts and other persons share, and it's a very good.
Hi, this is Claudia. Okay, I sell a product. I'm a contractor for a company and I sell a product. So which heading does that go under your models that you had? The
Okay.
emotional-
Um, I'm trying. That we would have to probably meet one-on-one in order to to understand what is the product that you are selling. Can you define a little bit more what the product is?
It would generally be under wellness. So it's products that help enhance health.
Okay, okay. So then it can be doing an emotional job, but it also will be a functional job because health is something that is that is part of wellness also. So sometimes you may be using two of the jobs to be done. And I think in wellness it is functional, but it is also the emotional. Any other questions?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yep, so this is Fucci.
Fucci, okay, nice to meet you.
Just a quick question about the canvas itself.
Yes.
The order that you're kind of presenting to us, is that by order of importance, would you say?
No. As I mentioned earlier, you can start on any of the building blocks that you want. I'm starting in we could call it like a logical order. You talk about your customers, you talk about your products, then we're going to talk about how you connect with them, and then your revenue streams, and then we're going to see the other parts, the part that usually your customer segments don't get to see, but make it function. When I talk about the business model canvas, I like to describe it like if you are at a theater and you are going to see an opera or a play, and everything that's in front of the screen to the audience, that's what we're going to see first. So your value proposition, your customer segments, your channels, your customer relationships, and your revenue streams is everything that your customer segment sees. But then everything that is behind the screens, behind the curtains, that's what really makes the play very successful, because that's everything that's going on behind the scenes that nobody sees, but makes the business function right. Another way of seeing it is in automobiles. So you might see an automobile, you might really fall in love with that, how it looks, but you have to open up the hood to know how it's going to work. So really the latter part that we're going to be talking about is what makes this car run, what is the engine and all the parts, and that's what we'll see last. So that's the way that we're presenting it to all of you, is starting up with probably the foundations, because the foundation of all business is customer segments and value proposition. But then we're seeing everything that your customer segments and everybody else can see about your business. And that's the order that we're taking. But for any of you to work on your business model canvas, you can start up on any of the building blocks. Any other questions? Okay, no more questions. Okay, so what we usually do right now is that we're gonna give you 20 minutes to start writing down your ideas. So you're gonna start writing down on customer segments and value propositions. Hopefully you have access to those sheets. Did everybody get access to those sheets that we sent out? Yes, that one. And the other ones, the handbook? Yes, so on that handbook, there are questions to help you think out what you're gonna write down as customer segments and as value propositions.
Like a
So
little
we're gonna give you
clarity.
20 minutes and
I'd
just,
like a little clarity.
yes,
The book are
Yeah.
the value proposition sheets and business model canvas. That's the book itself.
no. I sent out a practice handbook. I'm sorry if it gets confused with the book. It's just a practice handbook.
Okay. I don't think I received that, or I don't know what it is.
It should have been a document that came along with the business model canvas poster. But what I will do is while you are, all of you working on, on your value proposition and customer segments, I will put the sheet out up on the screen so you could see it also. And it's a sort of a guide on answering and starting to put down your ideas for customer segments and value propositions. And I'll do that immediately once you go in and start writing down your business models, okay? Are there any other questions? Okay, so we will come back at 1:20, and but meanwhile, I'm gonna put up the practice handbook. I'll put up the customer segments and the value propositions so that you could, I'll put it up for 10, like 7 minutes and 7 minutes and just so you could have the opportunity to see it. Okay. Okay, we'll be back at 1:20. Example. So I like to give an example what it means. There is a person in the east side of Iowa that wanted to start up a restaurant, but could not start up a full service restaurant. And what they did is they started with their MVP, minimal viable product, and they started a food truck business. And they started going to the big corporations that do exist in Muscatine, such as Han Industries and other, and they started building their customer segments. From there, they took a second step and they launched a small restaurant, probably with around 15 tables. And after they had success there, then they took the step of opening up a full service restaurant in downtown Muscatine. And so this is how this business started up as their MVP, started with a minimal viable product, and they built up from there. Another example we can see is with the smartphones and the apps. When an app starts up, it offers the minimal product, minimal characteristics and services that it's going to give, and then they start building the app. Each year there's they add to it, and what happens is they start to charge us for these new additions to the apps. And that's how businesses also go through the minimal viable product. But I just wanted to mention that before we start talking, because maybe for some of you, you had never seen that phrase used before, and I just wanted to share it. Okay, now let's start talking about your business models.